Welcome to another episode of the Elevated Barbers Podcast. We are going to talk to you today about how to modify your career.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Welcome back to another episode of the one and only Elevated Barbers Podcast. This is your co-host, Delmar, aka The Prince, with my co-host, Bradford, Lamar, Kelly of...
See, man, second week being bald and you already got jokes, man. Welcome.
And here we got a special guest today. This is a guy that I used to work with all the way from Covington, Louisiana. We worked together for a year and some change. This guy is an innovator. He's quick with the clippers, and he needs no more introduction. This is my guy, Nelson, aka Nelo Blends. Welcome to the stage, Nelo.
What's going on, guys? I'm definitely glad to be a part of this podcast. Seems like it's been like a long time in the making, but we're here finally, so I know you guys been wanting to talk to me. I've been wanting to talk to you, and we can kind of get some things out in the open and, let's talk.
Yeah, let's bring some stuff to the forefront, man. How you been, man? How you been?
Life is, man, I'm taking life slow, man. I'm definitely taking it slow right now. Being an innovator / business owner is always two aspects of everything. So it's important for me to always have that balance of both. You're still human, you still have to live your lives outside of that. But I feel like this is the best way to do it. Kind of do things on your own terms, and that allows for great creativity.
Yeah. Now,
Definitely.
Nello, let me just jump in here real quick and get the connection started, because a lot of people don't know who you are, where you from, but Delmar does. Yeah. Delmar knows a lot about who you are, where you from, and your journey a little bit. But first, tell the people, how in the world do you and Delmar connect from your point of view, Nello? From your point of view, how did you and Delmar connect?
Well, to be honest with you, man, I have to give Delmar all the props because I haven't really known him that long. We may have met maybe 5 years ago. I was a new barber to the area. I was fortunate enough to land in the right barbershop with an MVP with Delmar, Traven, Ernie, all them great barbers. Yeah. They had a passion for elevating their careers, whether that be barbering, photography, YouTube. They had their hands in all kind of stuff. And honestly, that was my first time being around barbers that wanted to, elevate. Yeah. And so we kind of got in a conversation about this YouTube. He found out that I actually had a YouTube channel. Wasn't clipper based at all. But he was like, man, you got a lot of views and stuff like that. That kind of got my mind spinning about, okay, how can I kickstart this back up? So I was like, well, I was already working on at the time was a brand of clipper called Kimmy's. They were very cheap Chinese brand of clippers, but those were the ones I was using. Just wanted to switch it up. It was cordless, but I was able, because of my skill set, to modify these clippers, and that's what I made my YouTube channel. That's what I based it off of, just how to elevate these clippers.
Yeah, he the Kimmy King, y'all. This man was coming to the shop, all kind of off-brand clippers, but he was making them work. Facts. He still was cutting people's hair like 15, 20, 30 minutes, man. So what you doing over there?
Facts. Yeah, I remember those days. That's exactly how it was.
Yeah, I see Nelson cut 2 heads in 30 minutes, man.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Hey,
Nelson cut quick.
When you do an LS1 swapping your clipper, man, you don't have no other choice,
Now, what'd you just say?
When you're doing the LS1 swap, V8 engine swapping your clippers, you don't have any other choice,
Oh, and you did it on your own?
What's that?
Is that something that you did on your own? The
LS
swap?
No, I mean, of course, the LS swap is just a joke for like a Chevy engine.
Gotcha.
This is a Chevy engine.
Oh,
like that. Yeah, that's
for the ignorant, man. That went right over my head. I was just like, what?
I ain't car savvy. I just drive them.
Look, fact.
So for go ahead, D, because I got a lot of questions, but go ahead.
No, I was gonna ask. So what? First of all, I want to say, man, I appreciate the time that we spent working together. You said that we helped elevate you, but you really came in and helped elevate us. It was a big motivation to see somebody else come in with the same passion, the same energy that we had, and we would bounce ideas off of each other. So I definitely appreciate those times. times. And like you said, man, you know, things had to not really come to an end, but you moved on with your career. And then I left MVP and moved on with my career. But we all still connected, no matter what shop we cutting in, no matter what city we in, we all still connected.
Nah, facts, man. I definitely, you know, appreciate you guys just as much. I feel like you guys was the spark to what you see today, you know, with King Clipper Miles. You definitely was pivotal in that.
So y'all just heard him drop a quick little nugget. He is the founder, the originator of King Clipper Mods, man. That is tight. So when I first got introduced to you, Nelo, it happened to be because I knew Delmar. And Delmar, he was telling me that you was the Kimmy King, and he said it like I was supposed to know what that was. I had never heard of Kimmy's. I had never heard of you. And man, he was just like, nah, bro. He, like whatever he touched, he make him hit. And I was just like, what? So I think I asked him to order me, like buy me some through you. And then once I got connected, I bought my own. And first off, how in the world, like my mind never went there in school. There was some people that was in school that was always tinkering with stuff and they clippers and all that. My mind never went there. I was the person that I just adjusted my blade. That's all I did was adjust my blade. But you completely taking stuff apart and putting it back together the way that you want it. When did that start?
I would say modifications really to clippers was just really a byproduct of who I already was. Think about just my childhood growing up. It was a lot of just making something out of nothing, you know what I'm saying? Coming from humble beginnings, not really having much access to the normal things that most kids did. That kind of built my mind to whatever I had available in front of me, you know, I had to make it work, you know, so the same thing. So naturally, I just became better with my hands and developed a mindset for that. I thought I lost you guys because we just had a big lightning strike. But
I wonder why you got light-skinned today.
Yeah. Well, I don't need to get no lighter, man. I don't need to get no lighter. But yeah, man, it just, like I said, that's a byproduct of who I already was. So naturally, you know, when I started the YouTube channel was just to help people, to educate them, to work on clippers that maybe there was a new barber they needed to, you know, learn, how can I make these $20, $30 clippers work? You know, everybody don't come in the game with 100+ clients or money in the bank, you know, so you know, that was the market that I catered, you know, to. And then just naturally, you know, organically, got to the point where people who couldn't do it, they sent their clippers in. It wasn't sustainable. So I said, okay, I gotta, instead of people sending their clippers to me, how can I create a modular part that I could just send it to them? And that's how the idea was created, you know, for modular parts, because that's all King Clipper Mods is. It's just the modifications of the Kimmy King, creating modular parts. Even this guard that I have, it's a universal guard. Because
we're about to zoom in on that.
Gotcha. I don't know if you can see it.
Okay, yeah, we can see it, King Zero.
Yeah, and it's just at the bottom you can see the little connector part, but that's a modular part. By just flipping it around, you're able to work within every blade that you have created, whether that's the master, the fast feed, or the wall. So that's just a concept that I developed, modular parts for clippers and obviously for guards too.
Yeah. So how can people order that guard, Nelson?
So this guard is sold direct to consumer on my website at www.kingclippermods.com. It is in a few stores. I don't know why I can't remember the name of the store. It's in Atlanta, and I hate that I can't remember because I do want to give them a shout out for that. One is Page Barber Supply, and the other one is, it'll come back to me, so I'll just get back to it.
Okay.
It's gonna come back to me when I least expect it. Yeah.
Yeah, but nah, that's tight, bro. Like really, just the thought process that you have in inventing things that are universal for all of the clipper brands, because you know, Wall, Gamma, Stylecraft, Caliber, TPOB, they all pretty much use the same blade width. Length, I should say. Yeah. And then we know typically Andes is a little bit longer, but the fact that you created a guard that can go on the Andes and you have an adjustment piece, I think that's what that was. Yes. You have an adjustment piece that can fill in that gap between the bottom of that blade to the to where the blade starts. That's innovative, man. Yeah. Appreciate that, man. And you know, we all know about the famous zero guard that Andes made back in the day. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and that was
best
blade ever.
Yeah, when when that guard went out of stock, I mean, I was like, man, why didn't I buy 10 of them? You know, so over the years, I was like, okay, well now I have the means to create. You know, now I have, you know, just with my engineering background, just directed to manufacturing, having a platform to sell it on. You know, I decided to take a chance, but I said, okay, instead of recreating that guard, what I want to do is I want to kind of marry my favorite guards into one. So I actually used the concept of that guard, the wall guard, and then the Speedo guard. And I kind of made a combination of all three. And I said, okay, what else can I do? Because even though it is its own guard, I need a competitive edge. So I said, okay, well, maybe I can make it universal. So how can I go about doing that? And, you know, fortunately, I was able to figure it out.
Nice.
Yeah.
I remember the first mods that you did in the shop. I believe it was, we had the wall, is it the detailer? The wall wireless detailer? Yeah, the wall wireless detailer. And he made a modification, Brad, that you can put the Andy's T-blade on the wall detailer. Right. Bro, when I said slice.
Yeah, it did. It really did.
Like machete, slice.
Really did. And that was back when I was hand modding. I wasn't even like creating parts at that time. I made a way. I was using like Dremel tools, super glue, credit cards, like just whatever I had available, like just to make it work. And that thing hit, you know, to this day is like, I think I have a video of me cutting with it.
Man, that's crazy. So for the viewers, man, explain the growth of Clipper Mods, like just how it became to what it is right now. Cause if I'm not mistaken, it had a different name in the very, very beginning.
Yes.
Yeah. Bless the people. Bless the people.
Yeah, it actually did. You know, and listen, I'm glad you brought it up, but you know, I just want to put that out there. Like, you know, even though it did start off with me and, you know, another partner, what we built together was a company called Elite Clipper Mods. Just because at the time that was my engineer. Whatever happened in that process served its purpose. You know, I was benefited from it. I benefited from it. I grew from it. You know, and things just was able to become full circle. You know, with King Clipper Mods. You know, and that's why I decided, you know, with the rebranding to go back to my foundation, which was the Kimmy King. You know, but but like maybe 4 years ago, I think it was Elite Clipper Mods. That may have lasted for about 2 years, and then whatever happened. And I was still Nelo, you know, I was still an innovator, you know, so all this innovation is still with me. So I said, okay, you know, engineering and innovation is here, you know what I'm saying? It's here. Yeah. So I just got to find a way to get it out again and rebrand myself, recreate everything I ever created, and to add more, you know. And had that not happened to me, I wouldn't have been in a position to the point where I needed to go learn how to become a mechanical engineer. You know, you know, so now I don't have to convey those things to a third person. It's just directly from, you know, my thoughts to my hands to my computer to my machines. You know, I'm able to prototype from home, and man, I may have created since the end of that relationship, I may have created at least 40 new products that I physically touched. That I physically sold. I'm sorry, like different products. I may have created about 80 products that I physically touched, and I may have created at least 100 products that are just in my computer that I haven't brought to life yet. But it just, you know, that'll come when it needs to be.
Yeah.
So
the reason why I bring that up, Nelo, is not to glorify anything negative, but really to highlight your mindset in regards to how to modify who you are as a person so that you can grow. Because when you think about Elevated Barbers Podcast, you think about what we're trying to do here, it's all of the time where you have to do something to grow. Like at some point you have to grow, and sometimes life is going to force you to grow. Sometimes it's going to be something that may appear to be negative, but it's going to actually produce a lot of muscle if you allow it to. It's all based on your mentality, the way that you look at things, your perspective of things, and the way that you were able to take a situation that could in some place look negative and you turned it into something that was going to become positive for you. I want to dive into your mindset in regards to how did you muster up the courage to move forward? What were your day-to-day thoughts when it comes to not allowing the past to hinder your future?
It was just more so what I saw, what I was seeing at the time. And what I saw was something that was created was still being sold, was still being advertised, and I had no benefit from it, no part in it anymore. It's almost like you creating a child that knows nothing about you. It comes from you, but other people are managing it. So for me, it lit a fire, under me, and I couldn't sleep. Like I couldn't sleep knowing that something is moving on that I created. You know what I'm saying? So I said, okay, what am I going to do about it? That's a question I had to ask myself. I could cry about it. I could, take a chance the legal route, or I could just say, you know what, like I did it once, I could do it again. Yeah. And that I chose to do the latter, you know what I'm saying? And fortunately, I was able to get on YouTube, pick up some skill sets just off of YouTube, like here it is. I'm giving people education on modifying clippers, but now I'm the one who's looking at other people's channels, picking up 3D prototyping, CAD design, all these different things, how to find manufacturing, how to build a website, how to create an LLC. Yeah. I had to be everything for my company. I really had to get resourceful because I had pumped so much money into the previous company, and now it's like I'm restarting. So I had to be very frugal, very, very resourceful, and things like that. It was just that desire to, it's almost like I was on top of the world one day, and then one day I wasn't. So knowing that is like, it just left a bad taste in my mouth. And I was like, you know what? I'm a fighter. You know what I'm saying? I had a strong mind. Anything I want. I think Delmar even asked me before I even picked up the mechanical skills, and I told him what I was going to do. I was like, "Now I'm going to recreate everything. I'm gonna learn how to engineer." It's like, man, you think you can do that? And I was like, I've done harder. I've done harder things in my life. Just like I said, King Clipper Mod is just a byproduct of who I already was.
Yeah.
So,
that's beautiful, man.
Thanks.
Yeah, it's almost like having something kind of stripped away from you is humbling in the sense that like you said, you started it, you helped create it, but then now it's moving on without you, but it's still you. It's everything is still Nelo is you touched this, you created that, you say how the thought process. That person may have been the engineer to help bring your thoughts to life, but then like you said, you went and educated yourself and figured out how to do these things, and it was like, oh well, he was just a start to get me to where I needed to go, but now I'm doing it. I'm doing all this stuff by my hand, by myself. So and this, like Bradford said, it's not to shine any light on anything negative, but a beautiful thing came out of that. You started something, you dissolved it, this person moved on for whatever, but you was able to take your ideals and then recreate it again, and now you're doing 10 times bigger things than what you was doing once before. So shout out to you for not giving up
for real
your vision and your dream, and you kept it going, and now it's something bigger than what you even imagined.
I appreciate that, and I really encourage anybody going through any similar situation to just develop the right perception when it comes to just life, period. Like we all gonna have setbacks. Sometimes you got to sit back, take a deep breath, and you got to motivate yourself. Like the chips don't always fall like you want them to, but that don't mean that's the end of you. Just know that you be comfortable with who you are, have confidence in yourself.
No doubt.
It's such a big thing that we're talking about right now, because, and I don't know why I always like harp on this when we get into these modes, is just your mindset and you being able to really accept life the way it deals it to you, but not settle for the life the way that it deals to you. Like things come up, stuff happens, but your mindset on how you, what my grandma said this one time, she said, life is not how you take it, it's how you make it. And I always heard life is how you take it, not how you make it. You know what I mean? Like the way that she flipped it for me, because she said when life hits or things come up, you can take it, like take the hit and accept what's going on, or you can receive what happened and then make it something. And she was just like, and so because she kind of like shifted my mindset, my perspective about taking life versus making life, it always has planted a seed in my mind of I can do something about the situation that I'm in. Like I can do it. I don't know. I might not know all of the answers right now. I might need to YouTube it to death, or I might need to go and ask questions, or I might need to be able to speak to someone that can give me some type of guidance. I might need to invest in something that can probably teach me what I need to know, whatever it is, but I can do something about my scenario.
Yeah.
And I think that's a key, because when you think about being a barber, I mean, we did that just being in this industry. If you remember that, just how to create a clientele, how to start to, you know, if you don't know how to cut,
right.
you know, how to, all of that stuff. Like that's, you might not realize that is in you as a viewer, but that's in you already. So no matter what scenario you find yourself in right now, you can do something to make your life better. Yeah. Don't be afraid of the pathway that takes you that way, though.
Yeah. That's why adversity is so important, man. Adversity is never a bad thing, because it gives room for growth and to strengthen yourself. You know, adversity starts from childhood, you know, the way you grew up, you know, and eventually that'll bleed off into your everyday life. So
Yep. And then it's like Bradford said too, it's all about your mindset. And Bradford helped me out with that a lot. And I know he got that from, you know, his mentor. But just coming into the industry as a barber, I thought I knew business, but I understood the business of barbering. But I had a meeting with two guys earlier, and I was like, that's natural. We in this industry already, but you have to shift your mindset from knowing the business of barbering to just understanding business, period. And when you understand business and see yourself as a business and become a business, then you'll be able to behave as a business. So, I mean, the cutting the hair and, you know, getting clientele, that's going to happen. But the type of clientele and the type of life that you want yourself, it comes with changing your mindset.
Yes,
and
totally
like
agree.
I said, behaving as a business. Don't treat this like a hustle.
I totally agree. Yeah, I totally agree with that.
And like with your ideals, you didn't treat it as a hustle. You was like, you know what? I can turn this into a business. Yeah. I can be an innovator in the barbering industry. That's a realm in its own that's not really tapped into that much, especially by somebody
successfully
independently. Not successfully independently. Like a lot of people, they have a lot of money behind them and they're able to create these ideas. But you have the machinery, you have the brain power. Like you're doing it, bro. Like you are the company of King Clipper Miles.
I appreciate that, man. And honestly, I think you know, like just where clipper companies and stuff are headed, you know, it's really not much more that could be done. Of course, you see, like, you know,
I got a question about
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. Let you finish your thought.
Nah, because your question might actually help me finish it, you know.
So we talked about this on the previous episode, one of our guests, and he mentioned that clipper companies are making billions of dollars off of the barber industry. They're making, you know, stylists, you know, the products that they use, they're making money off of them.
Yeah.
Being that you yourself are an innovator, what do you feel could be different? Because we all know they mass producing these products. Like all these clippers are starting to become the same now, and they keep putting out shiny new clippers like Jordans every week, saying that, hey, this one got 7,200 RPM. I know that's more of your lane. You know the terminology and all that stuff, the horsepower and all that. But like I feel like it's starting to get redundant because they keep waving new clippers in front of our face. So, you know, there's a lot of new clippers out there, a lot of new technology, but they're putting the same clip out every month telling us always improve this, doing this. So I want to get your perspective of being that you are a person who knows all the details, the ins and outs of what makes a clipper run. What do you see? Like, what's the trajectory that you see the clipper companies and the barber industry going in?
Honestly, man, what I think is happening, I think that you have these people who are great at running businesses, and they saw that, you know, the barber industry is a huge, you know, has huge numbers. It's huge numbers, you know what I'm saying? It's a big industry, and these are people who scale other businesses. So now they say, okay, we could come and make some money off of this, so we're gonna use these business tactics that we have or whatever, come in and grow our brand and flood the market. And that's exactly what's happening now. You see clipper companies, they have to release so many clippers monthly just to stay competitive with the other brands. But eventually we gonna get to the point where we seeing, okay, like this clipper looks like that one, looks like that one, but this one costs $40, this one costs me $200, but they're the same clipper. You know, so eventually people are gonna catch on and they're like, well, why don't I just buy the $40 clipper? You know, so unless you have control over actually designing your clipper, which I really think is very few companies that has that. One company in particular that I think do have control over the way their clippers are made is Austin. You know, the reason why I think that is because you don't see see new drops from Asta, that much.
Not
that
often.
often. Yeah, not often. All these other companies, they're going to China. They're just putting their brand on it, and it's like a frenzy of buying it. So whenever the smoke clears, who's going to be standing? You know what I'm saying? And for me, the perfect scenario, in my opinion, for a clipper company would to be, okay, let's find a different way to market a clipper. How can we make this clipper competitive? I think the only way you can do that is by allowing a barber to actually make a clipper for barbers, and of course, with my fast feed conversion, that took off with the modification. I was able to, convert the corded fast feeds to cordless. And
that's great.
We gotta wait. So we're not going to just skim over that, bro.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you just casually said that, like, I just converted it from wire to wireless.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so I want you to finish your thought, but we're gonna come back to that.
Facts. So like to me, the only way is, for a company, and then that's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm building my own platform, showing what I'm capable of. And, my engagement is just as high, if not as high as these clipper companies. I mean, I'm very, I look at numbers. I can't think of the word to start with an A.
Analytics.
I look at analytics, and whenever I do reels and stuff like that, I'm getting, a lot of, I can't think of the word again. Engagement. Yeah. I'm having a moment.
Bro.
But,
We here for you, man. We here for you.
I appreciate that. But yeah, I'm getting a lot of engagement. So what it's showing is that, okay, not only can I build this, but I can also provide the platform for marketing. So if a clipper company was smart or whatever, they will market, okay, we're going to be the first clipper company to actually collaborate with a barber who has engineering skills, who has a business background, who has inventions, patents, everything that, you would need for somebody to create a clipper. Like, I have that. And I've shown that, that it's possible. So that's how you
pause
get it.
right there, Nelson.
Go ahead.
I got a couple questions on that, but go ahead.
Why not you? And the reason why I asked that is because I just did a video talking about taking initiative and seeking opportunity actively. And I feel that with your mindset and your knowledge of what clippers need, and I agree with you, bro. Like, clipper companies need to ask the barbers, what are we looking for?
Yeah. Instead
Instead of just, cookie cutter clippers.
Yeah.
And they're giving us what we think we need. But the only way you're going to know that is if you talk to the barbers, So I feel like somebody like you could email a clipper company and tell them how much of an asset that you feel that you would be to the company because of what you're doing with the King Clipper mods. And like I said, your knowledge of clippers and how they run and the engines and the RPMs and all of that. I feel like, bro, and they could tell you no a million times, but I think that's something that you should probably pursue, to email some of these companies and be like, hey, I can come in and be a partner or be, some type of influence to your company to let you know exactly what barbers are looking for. That's just my train of thought. Because if I had your mind, your process about how to build clippers, I would do that. And I'm only saying it because I just actively sought out the opportunity with the product company that I just became an affiliate with.
Okay.
I had only been a distributor for 30 days, not even that. And then I emailed them. I said, you know what? I'm tired of waiting on them to make me an affiliate. I'm gonna send them a nice professional email, and then within less than 24 hours they called me and was like, we want to make you an affiliate, just because of how confidently I spoke in my email and how I told them that I would be an asset to their business. So I feel that you can do the same, bro.
No, I mean, I definitely take your advice, wholeheartedly, and that's definitely something, I definitely will consider. I do want to give a shout out to Andy's. There was some kind of engagement with Andy's minor with Asta. But, if I had to name a clipper company I feel like I have the most growth with, I would say it's Asta. I actually might get you to help me write the email. Not because it's not necessarily because I need help, but because I know that I can provide something that's so important to the barber industry. You know what I'm saying? Because I do feel like what we're getting from these other companies is just a lot of influx of this, influx of that. I'm not saying these aren't great machines. That's not what I'm saying. But now, that those clippers serve their purpose. Now let's get into actually having a clipper that's built by somebody that's been cutting with clippers. We know what we want, you know what I'm saying? And the thing is, I don't have to convey that to an engineer, you know what I'm saying? I just have to connect myself with the right people to bring it to life, and hopefully that they will take me serious.
Yeah. Now I got a question for you, Nello, because I want to know, there's so many people that's online right now that is probably asking the same question. So I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna take one for the team. Taking one for the team. All right. So what do you say for T-Pop? What do you is that a real clipper, or is that, like a white label type of situation? That's a big conversation that's been happening over the last maybe 2 weeks, 2-3 weeks online. And then to also add to that question is, about Marano Hodge, and about M1 Innovations and his connection to Coco.
Yes.
So what are you saying? Are you saying that that's a different type of a relationship, or we need more relationships that's like that in the industry? Because he has a background, an engineering background. He has patents and stuff for what he provides, all of this other kind of stuff that you mentioned. But he's like the only one that I'm aware of that has done something similar to what you're talking about. So is that what you're talking about, or are you talking about something even deeper than that? And then also, what's your thoughts on the reality of what T-Pop, maybe not him specifically, but just that mindset of, white labeling clippers and just coming out with your own type of thing? Is that different than what you're talking about?
I mean, to answer your first question with the T-Pop situation, I think it's like, at this point, it's pretty transparent of what it is, especially if you've been watching social media for the last 3 weeks. It seems like if you type in white label, these companies are going to pop up, on Instagram, because it's been talked about so much. And I'm not here to like knock a business or anything like that. And, they're very transparent about, we just branding these clippers, yada, 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 so we don't really have control over the made. We just, we are the customer service behind this, and that's cool, because sometimes you do need that, you do need somebody who's going to stand behind their brand and service the customer. For as Marano, me and Marano, actually, we linked, a couple of times, and I do like Marano's mindset, because he has innovation that's great, that benefits the barber industry. I'm still a barber as well. I'm going to always be a barber. That's never going to change. So, Marano is bringing things, collaborating with Coco. So that's a good marriage. There was a time where I did collaborations, but at this point, I will only collaborate with somebody that I could see substantial growth with. Maybe a little with Andy's, I could see growth. A little with Wall, I could see growth, but I see the most growth with Asta. But Asta is such a big company. People don't realize. What's it? Asta Oyster?
No, Asta. You said it right.
Asta. Yeah.
We eat oysters.
Yeah. Definitely Louisiana. Brad might not be eating them.
Yeah, I eat that.
We sure is.
Not me. You by yourself, no.
Hey, you don't know what you're missing out on, brother. Look, you don't know what you're missing out on. But no, like I do see the most growth with them, and that's like I said, and I'm not kind of like panic on the rush, like, oh man, we need to collab, we need to reach out. That does handle itself, in its own time, and if it don't, like I'll be fine. Like I'll live a comfortable life. I love being able to innovate and bring things out at my time. You know what I'm saying? Like I have hobbies. You know what I'm saying? Like outside of cutting hair, I'm salsa dancing, salsa, like I have a life outside of barbering, outside of modifying clippers, and that's important. We getting older in years, we stand behind the chair, we think about money, but we forget about our health, and those type of things, having hobbies, like that's very beneficial, for the long term of barbering.
Yeah, definitely. Now I feel you on having the hobbies and stuff, man, because I'm a YouTuber now, but that's a hobby that I picked up on. And I also, still work out and I still hoop a little bit. So, I can stay in shape for when I got to be
pretty good too. He's pretty good too, Brad.
What, in YouTubing?
No, basketball.
He throwing shade, Nello, man. He ain't seen me hoop in years, man. So he think I'm still this little 18-year-old boy.
Tell him, man, you elevated since then.
I've elevated, man.
Yeah. So, Nello, when the last time you seen him play, man?
It's been at least 2 years.
Okay.
I was out there too. I was playing defense and passing and stuff. But
we won though, right?
I'm like, here, take this.
I think we won with Nello on my team, man. This was
I'm a good attribute because I'm not gonna shoot the ball. I'm looking for the open man. I'm gonna get the rebound.
He found me.
Yeah.
And Delmar was always open.
Most of the time.
No respect. They didn't give no respect. But you made them pay though, right, D?
That's right.
You
leave me open, I'm cashing it.
That's right. Man, this has been a good episode. I don't know if we're about to close it out or not, but I feel like I just want to say, man, thank you for sharing your story with us, and thank you for taking some time out of your day to even be on the podcast. It's not we thank everybody that comes on, man, because we know that you got lives, just like you were just saying. You got a life, you got things that you could be doing. You could be building your business, and you can be growing salsa dancing. That was a curveball. But that was good. But you could be doing whatever you want, man. You chose to spend some time with us here at Elevated Barbers, man. So it's nothing but thank yous, man.
Nah, man, I really appreciate you guys bringing me on your platform. You know, it goes both ways, and it's like I said, it's crazy how things come full circle. You know, like of course I'm doing an interview with you guys, but you know, like I always want people to know that Delmar played a pivotal part in just a spark. You know what I'm saying? Like, and just things that he was already doing already. Even before I got there, he was already had the mindset of elevating himself. You know, and ultimately we were able to feed off each other. But you know, had he not been doing what he was doing, you know, who's to say what would have existed? You know, who's to say? You know, so you know, big shout outs to him.
Yeah,
don't have me tearing up on the show, man. Nah, I definitely appreciate you too, though, bro. Because like I said, within that stint that we worked together, you helped me to grow as well, and you lit a fire under me. Because you know, cutting hair can get kind of redundant, man. We've been doing it. I've been doing it for 19 years. Yeah. Nello, you've been doing it for a long time. Brad been doing it for a long time. Yeah. So it's like it kind of gets redundant. But when you meet somebody who has that passion and that fire, like you share with them, then you know it reignites your fire. It's like, okay, I ain't in this alone. Let's do this, and you help push and motivate each other. So I definitely appreciate our time spent, man. I'm glad that we was able to get you on the show finally. I've been wanting to get you on, man, because you are a wealth of knowledge. You ain't showed too much on this episode, so that means we need a part 2.
Yeah, we can do a part 2. A part 2 is good. It's good for the world. Yeah,
I feel like you have so much more to share for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
But I do want to highlight, you know, some of the stuff that we mentioned in today's episode, just about modification of the mind. You know, you modify. I think we titled this like how to modify your career or something like that. But we spoke about going from just being a barber and allowing life to just happen to you versus you being able to take action and create the changes that you want to see. We talked about the shift of mind that you can have so that you can see your future, you know, in a better light and not be afraid to do something to get it. We also talked about going from being a barber. I think Delmar brought this up when he started to bring up the business of barbering and how you go from being a barber to understanding the business of barbering, which is how to, you know, attract clients and do all those things. And then you start to transition and you get into being the mindset of a business owner. Yeah. And you're thinking about the direction and the way to scale and the way to get away from labor, but to build off your mind. And so with all of this to be said, man, Nello, what would be some ending words that you would give people on just elevation? What would you tell the people, man, about what we spoke about today? They're trying to modify in their mind what they want to do. How would you close them out?
Well, I usually don't give this answer, but I'm gonna tell you why it's important today, because you know here it is. I'm getting interviewed with somebody that's, you know, like I said, that was pivotal and just King compromise, but mainly surround yourself around the right people. You know, you have people in your life that's gonna elevate you, but you also have people in your life that's gonna be a liability. And we not getting no younger. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like you have to put yourself in a position where, you know, the people you surround yourself around are like-minded. You know, that you know, are stable-minded people that's gonna encourage you, people that's gonna challenge you. You know, my salsa instructor, even though he's my instructor, he's also my, you know, one of my best friends, Rico Paris, and we hold each other accountable. You know, even though we do two different things. You know, I'm a barber, you know, he's a dancer and stuff like that. It's still, like you said, it's a mindset, and that's what I appreciate about this show. It's not just about it wasn't about clippers or just about being a barber, but it's really just an aspect of a mindset that you have to have. And sometimes you don't have that. You might have a small part of the mindset, but it's not full. And surrounding yourself around the right people could help it nourish, help it grow like a flower. You need water, sunlight, you need all these different things. So your friendships, your relationships, you need these things. You need an aspect of it all. And that's what I feel like I got in my short time of at MVP, with Delmar, Traven, Ernie, all those guys. That's the in a nutshell, just the company you keep.
Man, that is a beautiful way to end, man. That's a beautiful, that as Delmar be doing, that was a mic drop.
Definitely.
That was a mic drop moment, man. Because the people that you surround yourself with, man, they can definitely lift you or they can choke you to death. So you got to make sure that you control who surrounds you, who you allow to have influence on your mind.
Yes.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, man.
I think that's the perfect way to end the show.
Yeah.
Yep. Definitely, man.
All right. So, go ahead. Close us out, man.
Go ahead, close it out, Mario on the Rivera.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Somebody got to close it.
I don't even know who you just called me right now.
Man, the all-time closer for the New York Yankees. I call them the New York Stankies because I'm a Red Sox fan. But
I don't know who that is, man. No, man, just to honor your second week being bald, you go ahead and close us out, man.
I'm a channel in my inner Brad. I feel like my thoughts are a lot more clear since I got a bald head.
Oh yeah, you right now.
But this has been another wonderful episode of the Elevated Barber. This has been another episode of the Elevated Barbers Podcast. I'm your co-host, The Prince, along with Bradford, the business-minded barber, and our special guest, Nelo the Creator. We out. Peace.
Peace.
Peace, man. It's been fun, man.
1,